Hey everybody, and welcome back to ENW Farms. Today is Thursday, October the 10th. We are going to start baling square bales this afternoon. As soon as dew burns off, we had a heck of a dew last night. That's the problem with trying to bale hay in October. Is you get really heavy dews. Like I talked about in the hay mowing video, this hay has been cut 6 days. And it's taken it all that amount of time, even running it through the conditioner to get it dried down to where we need it to be at. I fluffed it Sunday afternoon, which you've seen some video of that. But either way, we're going to start baling squares today, and they're going to haul some out this afternoon too. So let's go ahead and jump in here. We got to put some twine in the baler. Baler needs to be greased. Dang it. Once we get the baler greased, we actually have to make an adjustment to the baler. We're going to lengthen bales out an inch or two, and then we're actually going to tighten them up a little bit. This customer that we're baling for today, it is different than a typical hay customer. This customer gets paid for erosion control hay based off poundage versus by the number of bales he uses on a job. So he has requested that we make these bales weigh closer to what they want to pay per bale. And so we're going to tighten bales up. So we're going to have to make some adjustments back here. So enough yakking. Let's get started. We'll get greasing first, and then we'll make our adjustment on the other side. Okay, so we're back here on the knotters of the baler. I grease knotters about I try to grease them every 1,000 bales. That's probably way too much for some instances, and it may not be enough in others. But for us, that's when we start. I have learned that that's when I typically start to see tying issues and that kind of stuff. The other thing that I try not to do, if I use an electric grease gun, which I probably will on the majority of these, I will set my grease gun to where it gives one pump at a time, and that's all the grease that it's going to put in this stuff, because you have to be really careful not to over grease knotters. A lot of old guys my grandpa was one of these guys, and we always had knotter issues. He never would grease knotters. They didn't believe in it for whatever reason, and we always had bell issues. Well, now we grease knotters every 1,000 bales. I'm not gonna say that we don't have issues because I don't feel like jinxing myself today. But you would be amazed how many fewer issues we have. Roll our dial around here. There's that. And what I'm looking for here on these knotters is I'm watching for the grease exit points, and I am watching for that grease to come out. And I am not putting just a ton of grease. You see, I'm pumping the trigger, letting it put a little in, making sure nothing's moving. And like I'm not a whole lot's coming out. Okay, so you got actually have one there, one down in here the hole, one there, one here, and one there. So I missed one, and I think the one down in the hole here is the one. Oh, there it goes. Sometimes with a locking lube tip on these grease guns, some of these knotter grease zerks are a little bit of a pain in the butt to get and get them to take grease. Take our pin out here, and we're gonna flip our knotter up. Make sure we get the one here for the bill hook. And that's one of those right there. You really don't have to flip that up, but I also take that time and kind of inspect everything, make sure I don't have any issues going on down in there on the bill hook or anything. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to quickly grease this other knotter, and then we'll turn the video back on here in a second. Okay, so I got the baler all greased. Now I'm ready to make my adjustment for my bell length. So you can see that we got a jam bolt here, and you can see all these marks maybe right here where the tip of my finger is. That's where people's had it set at different lengths. We're going to loosen up and move up, I don't know, not much, I'll say that much. Before I do that though, let me go out here and see if I have a magic marker in the truck to mark that set. I actually did, so what I'm going to do, draw a line right there, and I'm going to back the jam nut off, back the jam bolt off, I'll have to do this in two. Okay. So now you can see that lets this collar slide up and down on the bell length strip. So we're going to come up about right there. And this is one of those things, whenever I get out here and start baling, I'll have to make some fine-tune adjustments on it, because my accumulator will only allow a certain length of bale. If it gets too long, they won't slide like they need to and turn long ways across the back for the first and second bale. But so that's got our bale length. The next adjustment is made a little differently than what you would normally make them. Get you back here. So in a normal application, when we're baling squares and we're loading on a wagon, you would actually adjust your bale tension. Alright, let's try this for the third time. Either way, we're going to make a bale tension adjustment, not using the bale compressor here at the back. With this Kuhn or Norden accumulator, we don't make adjustments back here. We have to make our adjustments to increase our bale weight on the side of the chute for the side compressors. And so it takes 3/4 inch. You've got a bolt here and a jam bolt down here. We're going to back this up a couple rounds and put a couple rounds in it on each side. And then we'll, like the length, we're just going to have to test it for the first, 20 or 30 bales. I have to get out and check it, 1 out of every pack or 2 out of every pack. And then as the day goes on, depending on how hot it gets, depending on humidity, depending on the dryness of the grass that we're baling, all that comes into play. Square baling is not like round baling. You didn't turn off there. In a round bale application, pretty much you get in the baler, you're in it all day long, you're sitting there, and you're not chasing settings. In a good square baler, it no matter what, as moisture in the hay increases or decreases, you're constantly chasing that baler to make those adjustments. So that's something that you're constantly, as the day starts out, your bales may be really, really heavy, and as the day progresses on, they may get lighter. And if you're not out checking every, couple hundred bales or so, every 50 bales, 100 bales, you have to make that on determination for your area. You'll run the risk of doing like I was doing last time. My hay was really dry. The length was where I wanted it. The number of flakes per bale were there, but they just didn't weigh what this customer wanted. So get my wrenches out here, back our jam nut off, and then we're going to make our adjustment. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put me a dot on these nuts. 12 o'clock position on them. And that way I'll be able to tell how many rounds they go. Alright, there's 1 round. And that's 2. I'm going to call it 2, do 2 rounds for right now. Because you have to remember, I have the same compressor on that side, so I'm actually going to get 4 rounds of rotation. So these may be so tight, I may be breaking shear pins like crazy. Okay, do the same thing on the bottom, and then we'll go to the other side. Alright, that's got all of our greasing. We got 1 more grease zerk to grab. I forgot a couple on the accumulator. I'll grab them on the way back to the service truck. But we'll see here in a little bit. Probably will put another video, put the baling in another video. This was just one of those things. I wanted to just do a short video. Seems to be that we get a lot more views that way. I get bored watching long stuff too, so I understand. But this has got us ready to go. Got twine in the baler. The only other thing I got to do is grab the jump box out of the truck, sling in for the power, for the moisture monitor, and the camera system, and then we'll be ready to hit the field. So thanks for watching us at ENW Farms. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you did. If you don't like it, it's alright. Hate mail is as good as no mail. So leave us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Want to take just a second too. Thank everybody for subscribing. Thanks for watching. We hit our first milestone October the 1st. We officially have 590 subscribers, and we've got our first 3,000 watch hours. So we're well on the goal of hitting the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. But we got a real tight deadline here. So like I said in the last couple videos, if you're enjoying our channel, we'd love for you to share it with people. If you're not a subscriber, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. All you got to do is have a Google account. If you don't have one, it's pretty simple to go in, set one up. Just go to Google, sign up, sign in, create you an email address or a username. Once you have that, then you can subscribe to all the YouTube channels, comment on videos, do all that kind of fun stuff. But either way, thanks for watching. We'll be bailing shortly.